The Life of Prophet Muhammad. Events during Prophet's upbringing by Hazrat Halima. In the previous episode, we discussed the events surrounding Hazrat Halima Saadia coming to Mecca and taking the young prophet to her village for nursing. Now, we will continue with the events that followed. Hazrat Halima Saadia lived with her husband Harith, their infant son Abdullah, and daughters Anisa, Hudhaifa, and Jadama, who was also known by her nickname, Shema. Abdullah was honored to be the milk brother of the Prophet. As the Prophet grew older and began walking, Shema often played with him. During one such instance, when Shema teased the Prophet, he bit her shoulder in frustration, leaving a mark. This mark later became a source of blessing for Shema when she was captured during the Battle of Hunain. She revealed her identity as the foster sister of the Prophet and showed the bite mark on her shoulder as proof. Upon recognizing her, the Prophet treated her with great respect, offered her his own cloak to sit on, and said, "If you wish, you may stay with us as my sister, but if you prefer to return to your homeland, you may do so." Shema chose to return to her people, accepted Islam, and was generously gifted slaves, camels, and sheep by the Prophet. While the conversion of Abdullah and Shema to Islam is well documented, the faith of the other siblings remains uncertain. However, Hazrat Harith, the husband of Halima, accepted Islam after the Prophet's prophethood and visited Mecca. Unusual blessings surrounded Hazrat Halima after she took the Prophet into her care. Her frail, aging camel began producing ample milk, which was a stark contrast to its previous condition. Hazrat Halima, R.A., often said that her household was blessed with abundance and prosperity due to the presence of the Prophet. Even during nursing, the Prophet demonstrated fairness, ensuring one breast was left for his milk brother Abdullah. The blessings extended beyond Halima's household. The barren lands of Banu Sa'id turned fertile, and the village animals started producing milk again. Villagers often urged their shepherds to graze their livestock where Halima animals grazed. Once, Halima took the Prophet to the UK's fair, where a soothsayer spotted him and warned people to kill the boy, predicting he would grow up to overpower them. Halima hurriedly left with the Prophet upon hearing this. Hazrat Halima Saadia, a foster mother of honor. Hazrat Halima Saadia holds an esteemed place in history as the foster mother of the Prophet. The Prophet deeply loved her and treated her with immense respect. It is narrated that during his prophethood, an elderly woman visited him in poverty. The Prophet recognized her immediately, stood up in her honor, and exclaimed, "My mother! My mother!" He seated her on his own cloak and showered her with affection. This woman was none other than Halima Saadia. It is also narrated that during the youth of the Prophet, Halima visited Mecca in the presence of Sayyidah Khadija, who gifted her camels and other items. Later, during her visit to Medina, the Prophet presented her with a flock of sheep and a fully laden camel. Hazrat Halima nursed the Prophet for 2 years, and during this time, his development surpassed that of other children. At the age of 2, he appeared as though he were 4. Although Halima was reluctant to part with him, she returned him to his mother, Sayyidah Amina, after 2 years. However, upon Halima's request, Amina allowed the Prophet to stay with her for a few more months, as Mecca was then facing a plague. This arrangement extended to several years, with the Prophet finally returning to Mecca at the age of 6. The incident of Shaq-e Sadr, the splitting of the chest. One of the extraordinary events during the Prophet's childhood was the splitting of his chest, Shaq-e Sadr. This event occurred at the age of 4 or 5 while he was with Hazrat Halima. Narrating the incident, the Prophet once said, "My early childhood was spent with the tribe of Banu Sa'id. One day, while playing with other children, 2 white-clothed men, angels, approached me with a golden basin filled with snow. They laid me down, opened my chest, and washed my heart with snow. One of them removed a black clot from my heart and said, 'This is the part of Satan in you.' They then sealed my heart with a stamp of light, placed it back in my chest, and healed the wound." The Prophet's milk brother witnessed the incident and informed Halima and Harith, who immediately came to check on the Prophet. Though alarmed, they returned him to his mother in Mecca, fearing further harm. However, Sayyidah Amina reassured them, saying, "Do not worry. This child is destined for greatness, and no harm will come to him."